orcs, have dragons, let's go.
And then they
But
find out.
here's the other fun thing about that,
Ew.
though.
Hello.
Oh, hey,
If it
Exy.
Hey, Eggsy.
if it is the gods that make all
Hello,
the creatures of
everyone.
that world,
Halloween
what
costume
created those
early?
gods? They must stem from the same
Okay.
source.
Well, it's not much of a Halloween costume.
That's when you start to get into either
Oh, I thought
Big
it
Bang
was.
More just,
or the gods.
A new look.
And neither of those are good for your mind.
That's fair. It is a lovely look.
It is a bit like an outfit.
And honestly, it's beyond the scope
That's-
of most
you know what, that's fair.
living people. Generally, you don't want to mess
Hello,
around
Jen.
with other gods, and there's no point to mess around with other
Greetings,
gods.
Exy.
So
It does look
just
very good. I was not expecting
I am
it.
cat.
essentially
My brain is.
stealing sort of
Thank
thing.
you.
I am cat. My brain
I
can
quite like
comprehend
it.
everything and nothing at the same time.
Mm.
I can understand why.
I mean, there's a reason why your ancestors were worshipped as gods in Egypt. Or messengers
Yeah.
of the gods, even.
Yeah, because we're best predator.
Well, that too. But also your uncanny intellect and penchant for just not giving a fuck.
Yeah, that's why we're best predator.
Like, nowadays, it's the whole, if a cat lays down on your lap, you don't want to disturb it. But in Egypt, if a cat laid down on your throne, it's like, I don't want to fuck with that. That's going to bring the wrath of the gods down upon me. So you just let
Yeah.
the cat sit in your throne. But
Yeah,
the
this-
real reason why the cat was there was because it had your butt warmth on it.
Yeah.
Mm.
But, you know the saying, you don't own cats, cats own you.
Yeah. They adopt the human.
Yeah.
I've never actually had to deal.
Exia still has this
with
instinct,
the exception of you, but
despite the fact that they do not need the
Or to
wand.
just sit on things. I mean, they're
Mhm.
they were metal and cold, aren't they? Huh?
Down out, down out, down out, down out,
Don't
No,
eat the
no.
bug.
down out.
Please don't eat the bug.
Grabs leg. You can't move now.
Yeah.
You're stuck here. Can't move.
Well, I can move. I just can't move that leg very far.
Can't
Hi.
leave. Cat's just stuck here.
Why?
hello.
All right.
Because you're warm?
Oh, just a brief aside. Stuck in my mind, I wanted to apologize for like a couple months ago where I kind of went off on you one.
Understandable.
I mean,
What happened?
during that time I was going off on everyone, but I got kind of personal with you, so sorry about that.
You got personal with me, but that was my own doing. I was going after you in order to try and direct your anger towards me
Brushes
to
on
try
leg.
and calm me down a bit.
Alright.
Meow.
Do. Exy,
Yes?
magic. Would you like to learn
I'm
more?
Game master now.
Sure.
Alright, what's on the docket? You've got identify, detect magic, mending. You also know light,
Yes.
because that's the one we use to practice. Anything else that you wanted to learn? Didn't you want to learn comprehend languages or something like that?
Hmm. I suppose that would be a useful one.
I'm thinking mainly of the good utility stuff. There's that. Featherfall would also be in that category, but you exist by hovering, so...
It'd be
Your entire
useful
thing is just
to be
gravity
able to
defying.
have more capacity to use it on others.
Welcome back.
I can extend my anti-gravity to make someone else lighter, but I cannot make them float.
Can you not use your, manipulation
Unless they are
things
very
to,
light.
pick them up by the scruff of the neck or something? guess it's got its weight limit like with Mage Hand.
Yes.
Pick you up at Scruff.
Ooh, another one could be like a floating disc. You could incorporate magic and your technology into it, essentially make it like a disc of that hard light stuff for people to sit on and for you to move things around on. Has a much higher weight limit than something like Mage Hand.
I believe I could
other
just
than
Cat
that,
told me
make
you were
it just
finally
like
back.
that.
Been a while.
yeah, probably.
Not leave, but
Otherwise,
village place and
there's always
friend
portal
Atlas
magic.
village
That's very
place,
useful
not
with the
good
metaverse
place
and
for
everything.
Mm.
So Tia
That's
go.
a little
That
more
would be
intermediate to
very
advanced, though.
advanced
Overprotective
stuff,
of
yes.
Tia sometimes.
Yeah.
Makes
Hard to jump.
sense.
A stepping stone for that
Been
could be
a while
either
since I
Dimension
saw
Door
other
or
cat.
a variety of Misty Step that just briefly shoves you into another
yes.
plane to just sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's
Yes,
like
but you look like
shoving a
snow
buoyant
leopard.
ball underwater. As you shove it underwater, the buoyant force shoves it back up,
Hmm?
but it will come back up in a different location.
Mm.
Oh, snow.
That's essentially how some Misty Step style spells
It
work.
looks like a cat, but with fur very much like yours.
Mm.
Very light grays with black spots.
Yeah, then there's
I
comprehend
think out of
languages.
the two, I
Tongues
would
is also
prefer Dimension
useful.
Door as. Mm. I want to mainly pursue runic magic,
Actually,
and that would be
Mm.
something that could be inscribed on a rune
pulls up a picture
for
of a
a
leopard
particular use.
and shows it.
Yeah, short range teleportation.
Mm.
Oh,
It's
Show her a
But
picture
that's
of-
a more stable version. There's also
show her a
yeah,
picture
as I was
of
saying, tongues,
Pylon.
so you can give any creature that can speak or at least understand a
know who
language,
Pylon is.
it'll allow them to
She
speak
pulls
and
up a picture of
understand the
Pylon
language
from
you
Cotton
choose,
Food
such as common.
Panda, who is also a snow
that
That would
leopard,
be a very useful one.
muscular
So-
and anthropomorphic.
Comprehend languages is if you want to understand
male
others
version.
and written text. Tongues is if you want someone else to be able to communicate with you and everyone else.
Battle will be legendary meme, isn't it?
Yes.
Hmm.
yes.
I believe tongues would be more useful, though
Is also
Mm.
snow.
I believe I would have a lot of trouble being able to use that one
Huh.
because
As a-
It looks kind of like a muscular
Well-
drive version of you.
there's no
Kind of.
clear
Look
Mm.
much different than
avenue towards it from any of my current abilities.
Well, he has.
I mean, we'll have
to do
more
that
eventually.
shape like
Yes.
yours.
He.
Right now, you've kind of been
At least
relying on a
with
crutch
comprehend
to.
languages,
Mm.
it
The ones I
would.
showed you
Like-
are what most
Mm.
people think of.
The
but
bridge would be my
Like how.
they're
natural
animals,
ability
like,
to learn languages
you know,
very
standing on
fast.
2 legs and
Mm.
look like
Uh,
kind of humans.
I will say,
was gonna
comprehend
say,
languages,
May
though
is
good,
fox,
it
but
does
she's not-
impede
doesn't
your
look the same as
progress
a
of learning languages
regular
because
fox.
it just
Yeah.
translates it for you so you understand
Fox
it
is
in a
just-
language you
it's,
already know. It doesn't
Mm.
allow you to
Regular
understand
foxes don't have
how
jellies like
how
these.
it's translated, as in what
Maybe
word goes where
also,
and what the grammatical
kids-
structure is. It's a shortcut if you don't have time to learn the
I'm also
language.
Kitsune.
Yeah.
Yes, I suppose.
Kitsune is just the Japanese
Mm.
word for fox.
Yep.
It's the equivalent of putting it into a automatic translator.
Same.
Because in common.
So
people
it can
associate
help if you,
Kitsune
for
with
example,
being
have just
magical
one word and you
ones.
use comprehend languages on
whereas
that, you'll learn what that word is. But
There are the
once it
magical
gets
ones and
into
the
sentence
mundane
structure,
ones
then you're kind
in
of screwed
Jap-
if you want to
in
try and
places
learn from
speak
that.
Japanese.
In that case,
magical
tongues
and
would definitely
Obviously,
be the
all
more
context
useful
is also
one.
lost.
So is
Yeah, it's also very literal
Uh,
translation, so you don't really get
so-
context.
Medi is
Mm.
magic.
It usually goes off the
Yes.
Yeah.
because
Is this
magic
the
be
whole
magic,
magic
it can just know how,
It
like,
doesn't
the
work
person
like
writing
this
it
in a-
intended for it to be said, and then it translates that
And
and
then Frenzy
it does
is
all sorts of
magic, not
magical
magic
weird stuff, and then you
but
get the
magic.
written
So-
text.
The difference between Dina's magic and Kitsune
But it's
magic
just
is
as
Kitsune
you
magic
see it,
focuses
rather
on the
than-
amount of tails we have. The more
Uh,
tails, the more magic. So,
yeah, other than that,
since Dina's magic is unrelated to her tail, she's not a Kitsune.
if we want to lean more into runic magic, we can look into enchantments.
Is
Like
fox with
resilience
tail
enchantments,
magic
strength
and
enchantments,
fox with
things to help people
tail,
fly.
but not tail magic.
Oh,
Yes.
another one, shielding.
Hmm.
Yeah, if we want to go back to the classics of enhancing what you already have,
Representative of the people
Oh.
that
using magic
Most of the
to
people back home
properly
don't
enhance
actually
and
have
structure
magic.
your shields.
But also, like, try
I
to
suppose.
explain to
Because then you can
kids,
also
making
change
me
their
realize how
speciality.
silly
So,
the
for example,
distinction
if
between
dragons
fox and
breathing
kitsune
fire on
kind
you,
is.
you can
Yeah, there's also the
change it
fact
so it's
that,
more energy efficient in
Frankenholm
protecting
is
against
also
the
fire.
fact that
Fox?
not all Kitsune have their magic tied to their tails. Like Mochi.
Then is
Would be helpful.
non
The shield is
Mochi
not
has
that
magic, it's not
strong.
tied to her
tail
tails.
magic, non-magic fox.
Oh, I imagine that's
like
partially because it's
Kitsune,
literally
but her
just
magic
anything
comes
that
from
hits it, it will
Is much
counter that
her
confused.
soul plane or
just
something
through
like that.
its
She's
very
literally still all
nature. But
energy.
if you use magic to manipulate it and make it more specialized, then it can protect against things a lot better.
Exactly.
Where in the metaverse, there is an exception to every.
You basically
rule.
sacrifice its ability to stop someone
Time,
punching
yes.
through it for its ability
The
to
only
stop
method
heat
of
transferring through it.
"quote unquote" time travel I know of is simply going to a universe that's a bit further back along that
What else is there?
interference lane. But even then, it's not
I
the same
mean-
universe. You're going
Oh.
to a different universe to mess with it.
I mean, I know someone who actually has time travel, but that's not anymore.
Gaseous form is useful, but given that we use
I mean,
portal, that's not really
My friend
She
Daily,
owns a TARDIS.
my friend's Daily, her
Illusion
mom,
magic could be
is
useful.
I believe
Apparently,
that's an insulting Tom.
Well, I have
allow you
holograms.
to essentially,
Don't
you
give them
do,
magic
but
items?
it allows
I
you
know I
to
used call them a
give
Torah.
audio sources as well.
oh no,
Correct.
Well,
No, no, TARDIS
I
is
suppose.
time and relative dimension in space. It's a time.
You talking about the
space
fucking
travel.
doctor over there?
Yes, we were talking about
TARDIS.
time magic.
Yeah.
TARDIS,
that
not
shit.
the one that begins with
Oh.
we. Yeah.
Oh, hey.
He
What's
will-
up?
Yami is left.
Some personal baggage with that word.
Yeah, that's not
Oh.
what May was talking about.
Off to explore, yes.
Fair enough.
Yes, going into
Hey,
the
mate, hey, your
forest.
kid just ran off.
But
If you care
What?
about that.
Oh.
They're going to explore the forest. I can't remember how dangerous that area is, but yeah.
time magic and stuff like that.
Did you say my kid?
Her mom is.
Didn't you say that you're also kind of mothering Yami and Tomo? I can't remember.
That was a misunderstanding on my part. I'm more like an aunt or a godmother.
But she really only uses it in small things. Like
Your niece ran off. There you go.
stuff like that.
Okay.
Undo the rusting of an object.
I trust Tomo to keep Yami safe.
Hmm.
That is
Oh
fair, I
yeah,
suppose.
water breathing. I mean, you don't really breathe, so that's not really an issue.
Yes. I'm also
ooh,
waterproof.
Yeah. There's the entire school of I forget what it's called now. Why is that name? Scrying.
Divination?
Divination. There you go. Thanks. Yeah. The whole divination school, I'm not naturally great at, but I can teach you stuff on that if you want to do like farseeing, scrying, tracking people and objects.
Hmm.
That's a bit less of a single spell, more of a field of study. Though you can learn singular spells from it, learning the entire field as a whole helps reinforce each bit. For example, the scrying I generally use puts together the you already have like an object or something from someone, so use that as a focus to then scry upon said person or said location, uh, basically rolling a bunch of the spells into one. What else? What else? Oh yeah, there's obviously debuffing spells if you want to look into more combat stuff that isn't necessarily offensive. Spells that slow people down, ones that put them to sleep, make them blind or deaf. Various other states of being you can force upon them. The sleep one's always helpful for non-lethally taking out an area. Also quite quiet. The only issue is it's sometimes a little hit or miss. Depends how resilient they are. Sometimes you might cast it and they'll just fall straight asleep. Another time they might just get a little drowsy. Everyone else around them falls asleep and they have time to ring the bell. I have a touch variety of that spell that's a lot more potent, but obviously it's touch. There's also a variety that allows you to keep casting it rather than just cast it once. You constantly pour mana into it, and then over time everyone will just get drowsier and drowsier and then eventually fall asleep. Obviously that gives them time to cotton on to what's going on, but if it's a large group that's already kind of disparate, they just slowly nod off one by one. It's usually quite helpful if you are just trying to sneak through a location. What else is there? The druidic stuff I'm not particularly good at, like speaking with animals and plants. Usually I need to burn a magic item for that.
I was
we
interested
could
in
go
healing
into
magic.
yeah, healing magic. One of the worst things I am at, I know the theory behind it, but the best I can usually do is heal a small wound. It's not really my affinity. Exactly opposite of my affinity, really. Speaking of, necromancy school spells, they're quite useful. Speak with dead, as long as they have an intact skull and jaw, you can, speak with the recently deceased and gather information from them. Then there's things like Revivify. Someone just died. You can bring them back. Beyond that, there's obviously resurrection magics and stuff like that. But you can get into some immoral territory with that stuff.
I would rather not devote myself too far into that.
Exy, the necromancer.
Yes.
You just need like a skull decal on your face and you're good to go. Oh yeah, you could go for the Angel of Death style. Get like a cloak and a hood. Yeah, so... Oh yeah, there's some other utilities like detecting magic. Detecting poisons in food. Purifying water, so it's good to drink. Creating water. Creating food. Not something you need, but it'll help. Yeah, that's fair. Any of this that I've spoke about so far kind of rings out to you?
Sleep slightly. It'd be good to have as a non-lethal option. Oh, the biofilm was just loading briefly.
Oh. Right, sleep is useful. Which variety would you prefer to focus on? Single target touch, mass sleep, single cast, but it's a little hit or miss, or the over time slowly put them to sleep sort of thing.
Hmm.
You could develop something more unique that's a variety of that, but that would take a little bit more time.
I am interested in the touch one.
I've got a lot of use out of sleep spells, that's why I've got so many of them. Patience alive. Touch one. Yeah. It's relatively simple in theory, it's just getting it to work, because it's channeling your own mana into them and essentially draining their energy in a very specific way, so they just start feeling more and more tired. You're influencing their brain to start entering the natural sleep cycle. If you go a little too far, sometimes they start entering REM sleep before they're actually asleep, and that's when you've essentially forcefully made a sleepwalker at that point, which can be quite interesting, but I don't think that's what you want. Sometimes if you go a little too far, you might put them in a temporary coma, but it is magically induced sleep, so do be aware that anyone with some sort of magical removal can get it off of them. Or anyone without magical removal thing can, if you disturb their sleep enough, like shaking them, slapping them, shouting in their ear, that can wake them up. It's basically as if they turned into a very heavy sleeper for a while. They can still be woken up, it's just kind of difficult to. Other than that, I guess just giving you the feel of how that magic flows would probably be the best start. Two ways I could do that. I could give you one of the ones I've been working on that has a sleep spell enchanted upon it with runes, so you can start looking at how that spell's structured. Or I could cast it upon a creature, and then you observe using Detect Magic and Identify to see how the magic flows and how it works. I mean, I could really give you both.
We could do both.
I can do a practical demonstration. Alright. Live rabbit. Here we go. Alright. Don't worry, it's a little sedated, so... Sure. They're just asleep. Well, not asleep, they're a little sedated, that's why they're so calm. But, how does this one go? So it's the touch spell. I recommend coming closer to observe more detail. Just get ready to scan. Right. You ready? Sleep. You'll see his magic start to flow into the rabbit, and then the rabbit eventually nods off. There we go. See? Very much asleep. Moving them like this doesn't really wake them up. But if you inflict any amount of pain on them, or shake them too much, or make too much loud noise, they will eventually wake up.
Strangely enough, when a language dies, it normally tends to gain some form of magical properties.
Yeah. Because it becomes so...
And then, to use. This one I've used a couple times, so it's only got a few charges left on it, but feel free to use that wand. Then you'll be able to study the structure of the spell a little more in depth. Enjoy the rabbit, I guess.
How long should this last?
I mean, without external factors waking them up, it usually lasts around an hour. It sometimes depends on the person. If they're a particularly heavy sleeper, they can transition straight in from a magical sleep into just a normal sleep. If they're particularly tired as well, that's going to happen. Like, say someone's been awake all night, they're really tired, you use sleep on them, the magical sleep ends after an hour, but that's just so tired that they just sleep for another 8. But an hour is the usual guaranteed. Anything after that is them just still being asleep. It's not like the spell wakes them up after an hour. Kind of be counterintuitive. Yeah. Just make sure you don't practice on anyone living for a little while you still get the intensity of the spell down, because as I said, you could either put them into a sleeping walking state or a temporary coma if you go too far. It's all about finding the balance. Oh. Yeah, otherwise, I think that's us done for now. That's Noah.
Thank you very much for the lesson.
Oh, yeah. As always, any questions, theories, queries, feel free to contact me in person or otherwise. No, my thumb's stuck. There we go.
A fair point.
Boots.
Boots is a tune cultivator.
Huh. I mean, at one point I was considering contacting a tune like, Indigo to teach her the tune fighting techniques.
I know Indigo. He's a good guy.
Like ages ago, I met him at the onsen and talked to him about a slime that seemed to fight very tune-ishly, and mentioned how they might be able to impart some techniques upon them, especially considering Boots. Doesn't she just make a giant hammer out of her fist? That's a very tune aesthetic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, people did find Boots after she ran off last time, right?
Yes, I found her.
Okay, cool.
I would hope so.
Oh, thank God.
Lexi's
Does
holding
she
a
still need
sleeping
somewhere
around
to
it.
stay?
Huh?
The offer's still open.
Does she
but-
still need somewhere to stay?
I believe so, last I saw the conversation. It's mainly a lot of people were passing around the buck because she's very chaotic and she needs a location that she can't get lost in or lost while trying to find.
Okay, well, like I said, my jungle is very
A
good for
sense of
Yeah,
chaos,
from my
as
place
long as
it's
it doesn't get
relatively
destroyed.
distinct.
And even if she gets lost,
She did seem
she will
interested
be found
in
because
your offer.
Speaking of my place, though, are we gonna talk about the politics stuff?
Oh yeah, is that a
Who's
private
always-
thing or
Well, it's a please not interrupted thing.
Okay, we'll move over there. If anyone wants to talk politics, they can follow.
Yeah.
Oh boy,
I know you-
politics.
Yeah.
Politics
Okay.
time.
I'll see if I can
No.
provide any evidence.
Politics
Not evidence,
time.
advice, but
Yeah, no, I'm good on the whole politics thing.
Mm.
Yeah, no, I'm good on that. I may be a guy for the internet, even I don't get involved in politics.
Did he not like
It would
politics?
depend being what the
Yeah,
Not
no,
like-
it's fucking
conversation
confusing.
is.
Yeah,
for me.
no.
Mm.
Yeah, I get that.
So,
But
did he not quite?
it would depend on. Apologies.
And did he not hear Dennis? If can repeat?
It depends on on what the political conversation is. If it's hypothetical, theoretical, or something like that, I do not.
Literal, most likely.
Literal is not something I enjoy that much, as it
Yeah,
tends
no.
to get people a lot more heated than theoreticals.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm already an open trans woman. I deal with politics just by fucking living.
Huh.
Fair point.
Yeah, I feel that. I'm pansexual.
Oh,
I have a
hey,
sense.
me too.
Yay! I guess.
Tia ist.
Tia is Tia.
Hey, Mayday. What kind of pans you like?
Oh, you know I love me a good walk.
Oh yeah, fair enough. I'm more of a pots kind of guy.
Ah, fair.
Yeah.
I do not know if I have a preference for kitchenware.
No, it's a joke because pan, and people not realizing that means like all.
Yeah. Pan. Usually when people think of pans, they think of like fry pans or like pans or something like that.
Ah, I see.
They don't think of like pan as in the Latin term of all. Yeah, it's kind of confusing, but you know, it's a good joke. You know. Hold up, there's an endangered species like right there. Hold up. I'm getting
What?
that.
This is a national park. You
We
should
asked.
not.
I know. This is why I keep them on me, but I'm not gonna hunt anything. I don't even eat. I got my own hunting guns, by the way. Anyways, I think you guys talk about deer meat again.
Speaking of animals, I
Yeah, whatever.
should probably bring this rabbit home.
Yeah,
Okay,
probably good
have
idea.
a safe trip back.
Alright.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
See you all
Bye-bye.
later.
See you
See
later.
ya. Man, yesterday was fucking rough.